Okay, everyone, greetings and salutations. My name is Abdulaziz Al Jumaya, and I am your English language instructor. This is for the students who don't know me or the people who just enrolled late in the semester. Anyway, before we get started with this lecture, I just want to remind you that in the last week I posted so many links and activities. They are very important and they will help you to get through this course, okay? So my recommendation is go back to Google Classroom, look at these or those links, and then return back to this lecture. Anyway, you can carry on now if you just want to get started with this lecture. So we are in the first week, and this is our first lecture. Today I am going to focus on English language grammar, and specifically I will focus on the present simple. And actually I divided this course on 3 files. The first file is about present simple. So technically we are going to define present simple and look at 2 examples. Then we'll go deeper with the next file, which is about subject verb object. In this file we are going to learn how to structure a new English sentence in the present simple. And after that we are going deeper and deeper with the third file, which is called questions. We will learn how to structure questions. So we are going to add WH words plus the verbs in the present simple. So let's head to the present simple file, and as we can see on top of the file there is a definition. The present tense is the base form of the verb. Well, look at this sentence in here. It starts with a pronoun, and there are so many pronouns, by the way. Each pronoun makes a new rule in English, okay? So it is kind of difficult. You will learn that over time. But look at this word. It is I, okay? It is followed by work in the base form, okay? In London, which is the object. So this is subject, this is verb, this is an object, okay? And this verb is written in the base form, as I said before. But for each rule, there is an exception. This exception for this present simple, at the moment, with the third person singular, she, he, it, by the way, they are pronouns too, okay? I is pronoun, and these are pronouns too, okay? But they have a special rule, okay? We add an S at the end of the verb here, okay? So we make modifications, not like the previous one, which doesn't contain any modification. In the second example we have modifications because this verb is preceded by one of the 3 pronouns, okay? So we have to add an S. Also, actually I did copy it and pasted some of the content in this resource in this lecture. So my recommendation is please check out this link. It is very beneficial and it will help you to understand the present simple more and more. You are university students, so I expect you to try to find the details on the internet, okay? Okay, let's move to the second file, which is based on the present simple. It's called the subject verb object, and as you can see I made a little mistake here. I did write SOV, but it is actually SVO, okay? Let's go. Okay, so this is the subject verb object file, and as you can see, let me just zoom into this example. There is an English language sentence written in the present simple. It starts with I play football. So I is a subject. It is categorized as subject. Play is categorized as a verb, and football is categorized as an object, okay? And we'll learn more about subject verb object. So let's head to the subject. So we have here three files, subject verb object. Let's head to the files, subject file. Okay, this is the subject file. It could be, well, this is the definition, okay? It could be a man or a woman or an animal or even a table, okay? We use subject pronouns or nouns or proper nouns to make a sentence in English in the present simple. So these are the subcategories of subject. So underneath subject, we have to put one of these words, okay? Let's look at the first one, which is called subject pronouns. They are I, she, he, it, we, they, Okay, so they are called subject pronouns, and they only exist in the subject part. Okay, with some exception with one of the words or a few of the words. Okay, let's look at the second one, which is called nouns. Let's look at the examples: the book, the man, the table, a car, pencils. So yes, we can put so many words, and there are infinite number of words on the internet. So my recommendation is go to the internet and write nouns, and you're gonna get as many words as possible categorized as nouns. And finally, we have the third part of a speech, which is called proper nouns. Okay, the proper nouns are kind of different. They need they must start with a capital letter. So we need to capitalize the first letter, and they refer to a country. Okay, so it is a name of a country, a name of a city, a name of a person, a name of a university, a name of a company, a name of an institute. So yes, we need to capitalize them, and they are called proper nouns. For the names, so many students make mistakes. I cannot consider the man here as a proper noun because it is general. Okay, every one of you is a man. Okay, is a great man, but every one of you has a special name. Your name is Ahmed, your name is Ali, your name is Muhammad. So every one of you has a special name. So this is a proper noun. Okay, let's move to the next part, which is called verbs, and this is the it is actually a part of a speech, by the way. So we have subject pronouns, nouns, and proper nouns. They are part of a speech, and this one on itself is a part of a speech, by the way. So let's look at the definition: the expression of an action. And this is an example. He plays football. Okay, plays is modified. Why? Because it is preceded by he, one of the pronouns that change the equation. We can look at this picture. I don't know if it is clear for you, but this is a teacher, and these are students. And that teacher. Okay, let's give an example. He or the teacher teaches the students. Okay, so this is an example, and I did put an S after the base form verb because I used he. Even if I use the teacher, which is a noun, okay, I make a few alterations and modifications on that verb. Okay, you'll know that over time. It's kind of difficult, maybe for some of you, but you'll get used to that. Let's move to the last one, which is called object file. An object could be a noun, a proper noun, or even an object pronoun. So let's look at this example with this picture. I bought a plate. Okay, I is a pronoun, bought is a verb, a plate is an object. So the last part of a sentence is actually an object. So I just want you to focus on that. But before that, let me just tell you, you have homework. Find object pronouns on Google. Okay, I'll post a link for you on Google Classroom, and that link will refer you to Google Forms. And through Google Forms, you'll find a few homeworks. And in these boxes, okay, I just want you to write as many pronouns as possible. And I want you to focus. I want you to write about object pronouns, not subject pronouns. And this is the difference. Here we have everything is the same, right? In the objects, we have everything the same. Look, in the subject, we have subject pronouns, we have nouns, we have proper nouns, and the same thing goes here. We have object pronouns, we have proper nouns, and we have nouns. But the difference is that the object pronouns are different from the subject pronouns. For example, I'll give you one word. It is us, okay? Us, نحن. Okay, so this is an object pronoun, and it never exists. It doesn't exist in the subject pronouns. Let's move to the third file. So we are done with the subject verb object. Now we are able to construct a sentence in English in the present simple. Let's go deeper and deeper and deeper with the questions file. As you can see, we have two files, and I just want to remind you that there are so many types of verbs. Today we are going to study two types of them, the be verbs and other verbs. Okay, the be verbs are is, are, am. For the other verbs, they are do and does. Okay, so let's try to make questions, but let's start with the be verbs first. Okay, so asking questions with WH questions words, okay, plus is, are, or am as verb in the sentences. Okay, so is, are, and am are actually verbs. Okay, let's look at the examples. Let's look at the first one. How old are you? The word how is colored with blue color, and it is a WH word, followed by old are, okay? And are is actually a be verb, okay? One of the be verbs. So there are three be verbs in the present simple. Focus on that. Is, are, am, okay? And finally, we end the sentence with an object, you. Okay, the same thing goes here, the same thing goes here, and the same thing goes with how good am I. Okay, this is a notice, and it was explained earlier in this lecture. Let's move to the other verbs, and they differ from the be verbs. Okay, they are actually two. They are do and does, okay? And there are two examples. What do you play and where does she study? And focus, this grammar is kind of difficult for you because, well, we start with WH word, then when we add do, okay? Then let's look at the verb in here. This one is a verb and this one is a verb, okay? This one is called other verb, okay, one of the other verbs, and this one is called a verb, okay? So this verb, okay, negates the s letter that appears at the end of the verb, and we write it like this in the base form, just like this. The same thing goes with does, but here does appear in the do, okay, the do word. So we remove it from here, we add it in here, and it becomes does and she study, and this one is written to the base form. How can we do that? We'll discuss that later in the next lectures. Okay, this is kind of difficult. We need to make it clear as much as possible, and I have so many slides discussing this issue. So don't panic. It is very easy. You'll get used to it, and when you practice more and more, you are going to improve your English language. Okay. Finally. Okay, I believe that we are done. We discussed the three files, the present simple, the subject verb object, and the questions. For the present simple, we did define the present simple and gave two examples. Then we moved forward to subject verb object, and we did discuss how, the construction of English language sentences based on the present simple. Then we did move deeper and made questions based on subject verb object based on present simple. Finally, okay, so sorry for that. Let's move to the last page, which is my email. If you need to ask me any question, I prefer you to post that question on Google Classroom, which is much better and clear, and it appears for everyone and it is public. But if you want to ask any question on my email, well, this is it. You can send it whenever you like, and I will respond to you within 24 hours. Okay. Thank you so much for attending my lecture, and goodbye.